Cherry blossoms are one of the most iconic flowers grown on trees. Originating from Japan, this has been a popular theme used in visual presentations. In this video, we're going to build our very own mechanical keyboard with a cherry blossom theme.
Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun.
I've always had an interest in a theme revolving around cherry blossoms. Although it may appear more feminine, I appreciate the aesthetics of how it's used for artistic purposes. If you've been following my channel for some time, you may notice that I like to decorate my setup with props. In this case, I tend to have a cherry blossom branch displayed on my desk. To follow this theme, I considered picking up a keyboard to match the aesthetics and see if it would look as great as I imagined. I had several choices to choose from, with the additions from Varmillo as well as the options from Akko. Instead, I decided to use the funds and build something more unique so that I could have my very own custom keyboard. To start this process, I had planned to build a keyboard from scratch with the bare bones of materials. However, with a budget in mind, I didn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on something I didn't plan to use as my daily driver. With the purposes of building the keyboard in itself, I decided to go with the cheapest option while also fulfilling all the necessities for what I had in mind. With this, I chose the GK61 wooden case kit with the pre-installed plates. For only $80, it comes included with the wooden case, the PCB board with RGB LEDs, an aluminum plate, as well as the stabilizers. For such a cheap price, I got most of the parts needed for the build without the hassle of putting things together myself, as well as not having to pay for each of the parts individually. The board is hot swappable, meaning you can install your choices of switches and change them later down the road at any time. It is not required to solder them as they're intended to be accessible for customization. The switches clip in securely to avoid the entire process of soldering. It comes included with a switch remover to make any adjustments if needed. The connection for the board is USB Type-C that comes with a cable included inside the box. The switches I chose for this build is Cherry MX Reds. It was difficult to find suppliers that sells them cheap in large quantities since they average about $1 a piece. Since this board has 61 slots, that means that I would have to purchase 61 switches, totaling $61. However, Banggood has them available for $4 for a pack of 10, and if you purchase them in bulk, say for example quantities of 7 or 10, then you would get a 15 to 25% discount. Obviously, I went with this choice since it's the cheapest option available, and if you're in the market for purchasing switches, then I would highly recommend to check out the other switches that they have. Inserting the switches is a simple process. Just make sure that you line up the pins correctly in the sockets when inserting them. If you hear a satisfying clip sound, that means that you did it correctly. Don't worry if you messed this up and inserted it incorrectly. It happens to me several times where I accidentally bent the pin. All you have to do is use a switch remover to pull it out, and then use some tools or pliers that you have around the house to make them straight again. There's a lot of cherry blossom themed keycaps available, but the ones that I found are similar to the ones that you can buy from pre-built keyboards. Since we're going with something different, I decided to go with these keycaps right here. Designed by Akko, which is another distributor for Ducky, they have a reputable history of producing high quality accessories and keyboards. These keycaps come in a set of 108 keys that would fit any keyboard layout. I really appreciate the options of having the resources available to use it for a full-size keyboard, a 10 keyless layout, and in this case, a mini keyboard. Sadly, for our layout, we won't be able to take advantage of showcasing the entire keycap set. But if you're interested, I can make a video talking about the keycaps themselves and install them on all the keyboard layouts so that you can have a general idea of how they would look. Also, just so you know, these keycaps are PBT style to ensure high quality and durability. They have a grainy texture to them to allow a nice feel for friction when you're typing. These keycaps are not backlit since the fonts and designs are printed. If you have RGB on your keyboard, you can have them displayed through the edges, but they won't show through the keycaps. Throughout this video, you'll see the difference between having the RGB on and off. And now, we have our finished product. With the intentions of building our very own custom keyboard following a cherry blossom theme, I think that we did a pretty good job.
On our love and making me feel alright. Yeah, I'm still high on our love and making me feel alright. I don't even really know your name, but I'm still high on our love and making me feel alright. Heavy like a feather, you mend my heart.
For those that are wondering where I purchase all the parts, I'll put all the links in the description. I'll do some quality tests showcasing the performance for typing, and to follow tradition, I'll include a clip of using the keyboard for Osu. Nice. To conclude this video, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I hope this provides you some insight or inspiration to build a theme of your choice. I'm in the process of doing more reviews and builds in the future, so that if you have any suggestions on what you would like to see, feel free to leave a comment. Again, all items used in this video will be in the description. That's all for now. Tune in next time to see what we build next.